Today is Monday, Yud Aleph Sivan, Tavshin Ayin Gimel. We are in Teres Menachem, Sefer HaMamarim, Tavshin Yud Aleph, Tavshin Yud Beis. We're starting a brand new Maimer on page Kuf Chav Hey. Shabbos Pashas Eikev, Mevorchem HaChedesh Elul, Tavshin Yud Aleph, Dibur HaMaschil Vehaya Eikev Tishme'un. The Maimer is on the Pasuk, as I just said, Vehaya Eikev, Pashas Eikev. Vehaya Eikev Tishme'un es hamishpatim ha'ele, and it will be because you will listen to these ordinances or these rules. Ushmartem b'asisam eisam, and you will keep them and you will do them. V'shomar Havaya lekecha lecha. Hashem, your God, will keep you, will keep for you, es habris, the covenant, ves chesed, and the kindness, asher nishbala v'secha, that he swore to your fathers, gomer, etc. Ubeirech privitnecha gomer, and he will bless the fruit of your womb, v'gomer, etc. So the pasuk here enumerates three things: bris, covenant; chesed, kindness; shvua, oath. Right? We need to understand the bris, chesed, the shvua, the content of these three matters, these 3 points of covenant, kindness, and oath. What's the issue? According to the simple definition of this verse, this is a matter of a condition. In other words, Hashem makes a condition with the Jewish people. If you will listen to the Jewish people, the Bnei Yisrael will listen to the mishpatim, the ordinances of Hashem, then Hashem will keep the covenant, the kindness, and that he swore, etc. That's the simple definition of the pasuk. We need to understand. These matters are totally not dependent on a condition. In other words, they're not dependent on whether or not the Jewish people listen or don't listen. Why? What is the concept of a covenant? The concept of a covenant, as explained in Chassidus, is like two people that love each other who make a covenant. Literally, they cut a covenant between themselves. The way a covenant worked was you would take an animal and you would cut it in half, and the two friends would cross between these two halves of the animal, the symbol being that nothing will be able to separate them. Even if conditions are such which it would seem that by logic, by reason, there should be an issue with their relationship with one another, nevertheless, their love for each other overrides that and supersedes that. So in other words, it's the symbol of the fact that they're committed to each other under all circumstances. Beyond, it's not dependent on logic or conditions or anything else. So therefore, that's the idea of a covenant. Even if there will be something that should separate between them and should stop the love, for example, the Rebbe says in the brackets, if one of them will behave inappropriately in terms of their relationship, nonetheless, nothing from their love should be diminished. So what comes out from this? That the concept of a covenant is not dependent on any condition at all. In other words, the whole point of the covenant is that it's not conditional, it's unconditional. Same thing when we talk about an oath, it is not conditional, not dependent on a condition. For example, the concept of taking on an oath to fulfill the mitzvahs. There's a discussion in the Talmud, in the Dorim, or rather the Talmud in the Dorim says, I think the the person that says this statement, this din, is Rav Gidel, one of the Amiroim in the Talmud, who says, brings a pasuk, I forgot which pasuk, for the moment it slips my mind which pasuk it is, but he says that from this pasuk we learn that a person can take on an oath that he will fulfill mitzvahs, or a certain mitzvah, or mitzvahs. So the Gemara says, but he's already sworn to fulfill the mitzvahs from Sinai. What's the point of taking on an oath? So he says that taking on the oath is an extra infusion of commitment, as it were, to encourage himself more to do mitzvahs. So he takes on an extra oath. So what's the point? The point of that oath is that even if there will be hindrances and blockages on the fulfillment of mitzvahs, that's the point of taking on the oath. To fulfill mitzvahs, he should not be impressed by anything at all. And he should fulfill the mitzvah. Right? So what's the oath? The oath is, so there is no condition. So it's not conditional. In other words, in order to remove any hindrances and blockages. That's the point of the oath. Similarly, when we talk about Hashem's oath, because that's what we're talking about over here, we're talking about whose oath are we talking about in the pasuk in Eikev? We're talking about Hashem's oath, the oath Hashem took on to Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, that he will look after the Jewish people. So when we talk about Hashem's oath, the Ksiv binish baiti, concerning which it says, where's that oath? By the Akedah. We say it in every davening every day in Vehaya Eikev. Towards the end, Hashem says, I swear, by myself I swear, binish baiti I swear, or asher nishba lavisenim b'mekedem. We talk about the oath that Hashem swore to the forefathers in days bygone. What's the point? What's the point of that oath? The point of the oath is precisely that. Shahakavona bazeh. The purpose of this oath is, what's the point of this oath? Without looking on the condition and situation of the Bnei Yisrael, the Jewish people, Hashem, so to speak, compels himself to fulfill his oath, even if what? If chas v'chalila, heaven forbid, the Jewish people are not behaving the way they should. And by virtue of their behavior, the Jewish people are not worthy for the brachas and so on and so forth. So Hashem says, nonetheless, I'm taking on an oath that I will look after them. So the whole point of the oath is what? To remove, to be a barrier against anything that might otherwise have caused the brachas of Hashem not to be manifest among the Jewish people. When we talk about the kindness, it's not dependent on a condition, it's unconditional. What's the point of kindness? The idea of chesed is to give to all. Not only to whom, to the one that is fit, that is roy, that has earned it, that it deserves it. Not only to one that's deserving, also to one that is undeserving. That's the point of kindness. You're kind. If you're kind, deserving, not deserving, you give the other person. V'yiseidim is that. Even more so, says the Rebbe. As is known, the difference between the emotional attributes of chesed, kindness, gvura, strictness, rachamim, mercy. What's the difference between the three? The idea of gvura, strictness, is that one is very particular on each and every individual. One is very particular, even the ones that are befitting, the ones that are deserving. We're also very particular. How deserving are they? Is there a small blemish? Is there a small infraction, and so on and so forth? That's gvura, strictness. What's the concept of Rahmanas, mercy? The Hagam she'enei roi. Rachamim, the idea of Rachamim is mercy is, being merciful is, that you say that even though the person is undeserving, nonetheless one has mercy on him, and bestows upon him as well. So what's wrong with that? However, in Rachamim, from the point of view of Rachamim, of mercy, being merciful, right? Or compassionate, if you will, there you still see the difference. It's still, one can detect the difference between one that is deserving and one that's undeserving. It's just that you're saying that notwithstanding the fact that this one might be undeserving, we give him nonetheless. We bestow on him nonetheless. The top of page Kuf Chavov. Not so. This is not the case when we talk about chesed, kindness. Hu shemashpia lakol, one bestows on everyone. Ve'einei medak deklal, and one is not particular at all. Bein roi l'she'ein roi, whether one is deserving or not deserving. That doesn't come into the equation. Chesed means kindness. You give, you bestow. So what do we see from here? That each one of these three, as it happens, bris, chesed, and shvua, covenant, kindness, and oath, are precisely ideas that are not conditional, that are unconditional. Since these matters are not dependent on a condition, what is the meaning then of saying that it'll be because you will listen to what Hashem says, to Hashem's statutes, Hashem's ordinances, then specifically then Hashem will keep the covenant, the kindness that He swore to the forefathers. It seems to be a contradiction. Question number 1. Question number 2. We also need to understand Vehaya Eikev Tishme'un. Why? What's the choice of language? Why does he choose the expression Eikev? Eikev means because of, right? As a result of or because of. That's the simple meaning. So the Rebbe says the Kivin Shezehu Inyan Shel Tnai. Since it seems that this is a matter which is dependent on a condition, it's conditional. Harimasim Yesod HaLashon Im. It would seem that the expression im, if, would be the more appropriate choice of word. Vehaya Im Tishme'un. If you will listen, and it'll be, if you will listen, then I will fulfill my part of the bargain as well. Al derech mashakosov, similar to that which it says in another verse, which is very well known to us, because we say it in Shema every single day in davening. Vehaya Im Shemaya Tishme'un. Right? What do we say? And it'll be, if you will listen to Hashem, then I will give rain in its time, and so on and so forth. Right? Similarly here, if we're talking about a condition, we should say im. The Torah should choose the word im. Why does the Torah choose the word Eikev? What's the meaning of saying? And it'll be because he will listen. Rashi Pirush. What does Rashi Pirush? What does Rashi explain? How does Rashi define this? Based on that which is written in the Medrash of Tanchuma, the Koi al mitzvahs she'adam dosh ba'akevav. Rashi does comment on the choice of Eikev, and he points out that this refers to those types of mitzvahs that a person usually trods on with his heel. In other words, the mitzvahs that one takes lightly. That if one listens in this particular, even with mitzvahs that are Eikev, in the context, they are the types of mitzvahs that are usually trodden upon, so to speak. They're taken lightly. Even if you listen to those, then Hashem will. If you listen even to those, then Hashem will. He will keep his part of the bargain, right? So that's why the Torah chooses specifically the word Eikev to emphasize that we're talking about a particular type of mitzvah. Then, if that's the case, it's not understood why the Torah continues to say, Vehaya Eikev Tishme'un. What does it say? If it'll be because you will listen to these mishpatim, these ordinances, these rules. What are mishpatim? Mishpatim dafke. Specifically, the Torah uses the expression mishpatim. What are mitzvahs that are referred? Which mitzvahs are referred to as mishpatim? It is known that there are 3 types of mitzvahs. Eidus, chukim, and mishpatim. Mitzvahs that are testimonies, mitzvahs that are chukim, statutes, and mishpatim. What are mishpatim? Mishpatim, rules, statutes, ordinances, heim, They are such mitzvahs that even our logic compels us that one needs to fulfill them. They make sense, and our logic says, yes, these are mitzvahs that we need to fulfill. Mitzvahs that are in the category of testimonial mitzvahs, memorial mitzvahs, are such mitzvahs that at least have some room in our intellect. Hainu, meaning, even though on his own, from his own initiative, the person might not have fulfilled them if he wasn't commanded to fulfill them. Mishpatim are such mitzvahs which we would have fulfilled even if we were not commanded to do so, because our logic compels us to do them. Eidus, testimonial mitzvahs, are those that we may not have fulfilled them on our own. Nevertheless, there is room. We understand that we should fulfill them because of the testimonial aspect that is within them, that which they represent. For example, those mitzvahs that commemorate our exodus from Egypt. Once we are commanded, we understand. Oh, it makes sense. But chukim, statutes, are such mitzvahs that the nations of the world point out to the Yidden, or criticize the Jewish people by saying, what kind of mitzvahs are these? They make absolutely no sense. Why do you fulfill them? They have no room in intellect, in our logic at all. I have issued a statute, I have issued a decree, and we fulfill them because of Hashem's will, pure and simple. So if that's the case, then the pasuk mentions mitzvahs that the person tramples upon with his heel, that the Jewish people are not particular about them. The pasuk should have really mentioned what? Vehaya Eikev Tishme'un eis hachukim, or at least what? Eidus, because these are more the mitzvahs that are not connected to the logic, they're less connected to the logic of the person. Why does the pasuk specifically choose mishpatim, which seems to be the mitzvahs that we are most likely to be particular on in fulfilling, because they are logical and we would have fulfilled them even if they were not commanded by Hashem? That's the end of question 2.